Hello, everyone. Welcome to the beer garden. Today we have Sarah, Steve, and Joe with myself to preview the Happy Valley meeting on Wednesday. But before that, let's have a chat because I just saw a report that about Flightline will be sidelined. He is a brilliant host that we mentioned before in our show. Sarah, I also remember that you showed us a video about his impressive victory before. And do you remember any story about that you expected a horse so high after 1 or 2 stars? And he or she really became a successful horse?
Yes, I was a big Charlatan fan. He ran out here. I saw him break his maiden, which was really lucky to say because it was right before COVID hit and now the tracks shut down, especially for spectators. So that was really, really amazing to see. He was on the Derby Trail for a bit, and then, our Kentucky Derby Trail got a little bit mixed up that year. So we ended up starting with the Belmont. So he was going to try for that. And then unfortunately he got injured and just continued to stay injured and rehabbing his injuries till almost the end of the year. So we only had three wins before the end of the year, but great wins. And then he came back and won the Malibu, which was exceptional. I was a big I always said I was a Charlatan fangirl. And then he had one more start, and that was in the Saudi Cup, in which he got an unbelievable second to Mishriff. And then now he has retired. But that was a horse I could have done so much, could have had an impeccable career. I mean, he did really in his, 5 starts, 4 first and 1 second. So I guess you can't quite complain there. But Charlatan is a horse that I had a special place for.
Yeah, definitely. He's quite amazing. And Steve, do you have any similar stories to share with us?
I think I always liked the Franco story when he just came out on debut and won. I think a horse I always had a real sentimental soft spot for was a horse called Colonel Mac, who was a British horse who didn't make the great heights of other horses, but he's a horse that I always liked. He was third. He was like more of a good handicapper, but I just loved him. And he was a very good third on his second run. He was like a bay colour, but he looked black to me. And he was always just a horse that I really enjoyed watching. And I always remember in the Stewards Cup, which is a big sprint at Goodwood in England, Jamie Spencer was riding him, and he was quite well fancied that day. And I think he charged the stalls as the barriers opened, and he ran down the track with a mouthful of broken teeth because he smashed all his teeth. And I felt so sorry for the horse, and I thought, why is he finished 22nd out of 26th? And the job easing him back, because it must have been rather a horrible experience for him. And then 2 or 3 runs later, he won. So, but he was just one of these horses I loved, and Colonel Mac, just a beautiful horse. So yeah, one of the memories, but not in the amazing abilities of the likes of Franco, but just a horse I have a sentimental memories of.
Yes, that's really cool. We as a horse racing fans really love to see this. And Joe, how about you? Do you have any similar stories?
I'm gonna bend the rule a bit because I do remember when I got back into watching racing at about where the pandemic started, and then I know he didn't really start well, and this is incentivized. So I mean, I know you guys are familiar with him. Because he was raced poorly, a 9th start, a 6th, and then an 8th. But then he just went on a huge winning streak, but it was against like lower company. And then they were like, oh, okay, once he won a G3 race in Ipswich and an Eagle Farm, they were like, okay, he's not going to win any of these other races. Then he started winning a G3, then he started winning a G1, and then he went back to back G1s. And then they were like, well, he's not going to win the Caulfield Cup. Then he ended up winning the Caulfield Cup. So this was one that seeing something that from Queensland where you don't really see a lot of big name horses as opposed to like seeing something from New South Wales or even Victoria, Incentivized was something that I thought that was going to be special after he won. They were saying he was going to be a big superstar. And then I started to believe it. I know I didn't back it a couple times, but then I started to believe that he's the real deal. So Incentivized was one in recent times that I remember for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. So for us, we love the horses and we definitely hope that the animal will stay healthy and have a good racing career. And so let's move to the Happy Valley preview of this Wednesday. Although there is no jackpot, it is still a good race day, I believe. For the first leg of the Triple Trail will be in race 5. It is a class 4 race over 1200 meters. Sarah, who do you like?
I am going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to take the 6, Eternal Bloom, who's making his debut here. He's jumping out of barrier 7 and we got Poon aboard. But what I like about that is Poon has been riding him in his trial barriers and has really gotten to know this horse's form. He looks pretty consistent and he's had his trial barrier runs over both Happy Valley and Charene. Which I like to see because it really gets to him familiar to each track as they're both vastly different. I looked up his pedigree and his sire, True Me Loose, hit the board 12 out of 20 starts with 7 wins over the 1200 meter to 1600 meter distance in Australia. So I'm really hoping his pedigree is really on his side here. It's a tough field, but I don't feel this horse is in over his head. So I'm going to take my shot here. This is my value bet as well with 6, Eternal Bloom.
Yeah, that's cool. For Sarah's value bet in race 5 will be number 6, Eternal Bloom, who will make his debut in Hong Kong on Wednesday. And for his dam side, he also has a half brother to Baba Mama, who also was a 4-time winner in Hong Kong before. So hopefully Eternal Bloom can also adapt to the Hong Kong racing environment as soon as possible. I will be looking forward to him as well. And Steve, how about you? Who do you like?
I went for the top weight, Birdsville, drawn 8 under Zach Burton. He's lightly raced horse. He's yet to win in Hong Kong in 5 local starts, but really encouraging runs the last twice. He was 6 to Astrologer, over course and distance, 2 runs back. And then he was a very good 4th to ready to win at Charene. Those were class 3 events. You just get the feeling he's getting better. He was dropped a pound for his last run. And Zach takes it over from Keith Young. It's interesting, Zach Burton rode Circuit Booming to a course and distance victory last time, yet he still jumps off that horse and rides Birdsville. Circuit Booming has got a rather high head carriage. It didn't stop him winning last time, but he's up 6 pounds and he also has barrier 12 to overcome, which is quite tricky. And I think Triple looked slightly better last time. He looks to be coming back to form. He's Matthew Chadwick on board. I think Birdsville dropping in class, lightly raced, Zach Burton, all the ingredients are there for a good run.
Yes, right. Number 1, Birdsville, with the class dropper who will be racing in class 4 in Hong Kong for the first time. I still remember that because he beat Huzozuzi when they were both 2-year-old in Australia before. So I believe he's quite a good horse. And Joe, how about you? Who do you like?
I went towards the bottom. We're on the C course, and this is a 1200 meter race. I went with Phenomenal Combo down at the bottom, number 11, I believe. Yeah, number 11 with Wagner Borgs. His debut race in Hong Kong after trialing in Australia, he was really consistent in his trials and then gets second. Then he started to have some bad performances in the class 4 races. Now he's going to carry a lot less weight since he went down to the rating. He did get a big spell. He's going to come in fresh after that, winning a trial in Chung Fa and then coming to Sha Tin and getting a 4th in that trial as well. So I think he does. I think he could bounce back. I think that the fitness is going to come back to him after winning the trials, and he wasn't too far off in his last trial, only by about 2 lengths. So I'm going to take a big chance. He's $15 in the market, but Phenomenal Combo for me in race number 5.
Yes, right. I think so. Number 11, Phenomenal Combo, because he had a tendon injury in April last year, and he will be returning after a long spell. Recent 2 barrier trial showing that he is recovering quite well, having quite a good price on Wednesday as well. And for me, I will go for another outsider. I like number 5, Noble Desire, because he is a 2-time winner over this course and distance last season, and this horse just turned 6-year-old. I still believe in his ability. This time, he will have some gear changes, removing the cross no band and putting on the shadow roll again. Hope to bring him some excitement so that he can show the gate speed again. And also this horse seldom has a foreign jockey to be on board. So this time it is interesting to see that Harry Bentley will be riding. And currently the value is quite good, 19-1. So don't forget him in the triple trio. So to sum up the first leg, race 5, Sara will go for number 6, Eternal Bloom, who will be also her value bet as well. And Steve will go for the class dropper, number 1, Burstfield. Joe likes number 11, Phenomenal Combo. And for me, I will go for number 5, Noble Desire. And let's jump to the second leg. That will be race 6. That it is a class 4 race over 1650 meters. Sara, who do you like?
I like the 1, Loyal Baby. We're jumping out of barrier 3. We got Purton staying aboard. He's just really consistent over this course and over this distance. I mean, since he's come over from racing in Ireland, I know they tried to race him at Charene and just was not having any luck at all. Comes over to Happy Valley and just really starts to grow into his form and really tackle this distance at this course. So I see this horse really sitting towards the lead, and I feel like if he could get loose, he could take on this field pretty easy. So I'm going to take my shot here. Hopefully Purton brings me some good luck. Good luck this race. So 1, Loyal Baby for me.
Yes, right. Number 1, Loyal Baby. He is such an honest horse, always finishing close recently. And this time, better gates, huge chance here. And Steve, who do you like?
I went for number 7, Amazing News, drawn 1 under Harry Bentley. 2 wins in the UK when trained by George Scott. And he's still to win here, but he's getting closer to the target. 3 good course and distance runs lately. And he was just a half a length behind Loyal Baby, 2 runs back when they were 3rd and 4th. And the last time he was quite unlucky in the run. Vincent Ho was on board and he was in 8th place, but he looked to be coming through with a good run and he was just denied room in the straight and his chance was gone. I used to sometimes worry that he actually had the stamina for 1650, but I think he probably does. I think he's worth following. Zach Purton has a full book of rides, and he's 7 favourites actually on the night. But it's always hard to imagine they'll all come in. But and I think he does have a very good chance on Loyal Baby. But he's been costly to follow. I mean, that's the last 5 runs now. He's been placed, but hasn't got over the line. He could well do it this time. And yes, I mean, I wouldn't put anyone off him, but he's likely to be the favourite. So you'll get maybe a slightly nicer price on Amazing News simply because of Loyal Baby's presence. So for me, yes, Amazing News with Harry Bentley, of course, who's in great form.
Yes, right. I agree that number 7, Amazing News for Steve Spick in race 6. Last time I was just for givables, and because he did not have a clear one in the home straight, and this time Gates won again, and I will give him one more chance as well. And Joe, how about you? Who do you like?
I took another one down the bottom, number 10, Red Brick Fighter with Daniel Moore. I mean, Daniel Moore had a win in Charene the other week or last week, and he won on a really, really big priced horse, Texas Storm, I think the name was. But yeah, I think he's going to be on this one. They've tried him with a lot of different jockeys. Normally Matthew Poon would be on him. It doesn't look like Matthew Poon is in this race at all. So with that, Daniel Moore, I mean, he's trying to get another win. He wants to prove that he is that he could compete with a lot of them in Hong Kong. As far as form goes with Red Brick Fighter, before the season ended, he started coming up into form, and I'm seeing it again. When he first started the season in Happy Valley's 10th, then now he's slowly progressing to 7th and then 5th. He does have some back class. He has raced in a class 5, won, and then with no weight on its back, it's won. So this horse knows how to win. It's just a matter of if they could time the ride right for him, because it is a little detrimental for him to actually be off the pace. So I think that Red Brick Fighter for me, maybe to put in your triple trio, for horse number 10.
Yes, definitely. Number 10, Red Brick Fighter. I think that last start was solid actually because he was traveling wide without cover for the whole trip and still just beaten by 2 lengths only. So that was really impressive to me. And for me, it is interesting to see that in this race because Sarah, Steve, and Joe's picks are also included in my tips. And I would like to add number 9, Hong Kong HK Dragon, because I strongly recommend you to have the first 4 bets with our picks. So HK Dragon will race over this course and distance for the first time as a son of Lord Canelora. I think that he should handle this trip well, and because recently he is also having quite good performance over 1400s at Charene recently. Before this start, HK Dragon had 2 good barrier trial on January 22nd and last Tuesday, showing that this horse is currently very fit. So to sum up race 6, the second leg of the triple trio, for Sarah, she goes for number 1, Loyal Baby. And for Steve, that is number 7, Amazing News. For Joe, he likes number 10, Red Brick Fighter. And for me, I would add number 9, HK Dragon in race 6. So let's jump to the final leg of the triple trio. Race 7 will be another batch of class 4, 1650 meters. Sarah, who do you like?
I like the 6 here, Bulletproof, another Purton horse for me. So fingers crossed, Purton's going to give me some good luck this meet. He's jumping out of barrier 10, but this horse has just progressed quite nicely over the past 5 races, just showing really great form over this distance, especially his last time out on January 26th, where he got a very close second place to More Than Enough, but really just his performance in that race where he went too wide at the rear and then switched to take on the field just really show he has a nice competitive edge. And I think we're going to see that a repeat performance in this race. I think Purton's really learned to know when to click this horse into gear. And I just think over this course, this horse is favorable. I'm taking the 6, Bulletproof.
Yes, for number 6, Bulletproof, rider Zach is having quite good statistics with the trainer Ricky Yu. Among their 5 cooperation this season previously, they scored 1 winner and 4 seconds, including Bulletproof on his last start. He's definitely a very nice horse. And Steve, how about you? Who do you like?
I'm going for the top weight, number 1, Nearly Fine, drawn 4 under Alfie Chan. My second horse also trained by Casper Founds after Amazing News in race number 6. He was a maiden winner at Kensington. He's lightly raced. He was just half a length behind Bulletproof last time. That was Blake Shin on board. So Alfie Chan steps in, taking £5 off, which is very useful. And of course, he was once upon a time the rider for Casper Founds, but now he's going freelance and doing very, very well. So I'm hoping that he has a good chance with Nearly Fine. And Alfie Chan rode him 4 starts back when he was a very good second over course and distance to Kung Fu Master Panda. Again, if there's been a few winners by Purton in the day, the chances are Bulletproof could be very, very short come race 7. And there might be a bit of value to be had for Nearly Fine, who's lightly raced and putting together a nice sequence of runs. So I think with the £5 off, he could go very close. Nearly Fine.
Yeah, I agree. Number 1, Nearly Fine. I also believe his ability in class 4. And Joe, do you have similar thinking?
Yeah, what Steve said. Number 1, Nearly Fine for me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, number 1, Nearly Fine. The last race, he was all the way in the back, and he still managed to catch almost to the winner, almost by a half a length. So yeah, just based off of that performance, as what Steve mentioned, does have the trip with the 1650 as well. I think if he gets to run into a hot pace, a really, really hot pace, they were running a little bit fast in that last race too. But this time he gets barrier 4 instead of 10. So he'll have more room to settle if he has to, towards maybe a little bit closer. Because I thought that he was a little too far off. Otherwise he would have caught up to him, but he was motoring at the top of the lane. So I think that this time he'll get a better run at him. So number 1, Nearly Fine for me with Alfie Chen.
Yeah, so both Steve and Joe also like number 1, nearly fine. I also believe that his ability is quite competitive in class 4. And for me, I will go for number 12, Flash Famous. The bottom one, finally a good gate for him this time, gate 2. Actually, last time I think that it wasn't that bad because gate 11 was too difficult for him. And he also did not have a clear one in the final furlong. So this time, gate 2 can be completely different because he can stay in a good position. And I don't think that he needs to go down to class 5 because this 7-year-old maybe in class 4 carrying a lightweight will be better than carrying the top weight in class 5. And this time I hope Daniel Moore will surprise us again on board Flash Famous number 2. That will be my selection here. So to sum up the final leg of the triple trio, race 7, Sarah goes for number 6, Bulletproof, and Steve and Joe will also like number 1, Nearly Fine, and I will go for the bottom one, number 12, Flash Famous. So we just mentioned about the triple trio, so let's talk about our best bet on Wednesday at Happy Valley. Sarah, who is your best bet?
My best bet comes in at race 8, which is over 6 furlongs. And I'm going with the 3 here, Elon, with Borges aboard for trainer size. So it's a hot trainer. You can't go wrong with, I feel like, with his horses. He is jumping out of barrier 5. He does get a slight weight drop, which is going to help him out. You know, his last time out at Happy Valley, it was a very unlucky run for him. He was bumped, it threw him off. He couldn't find his footing, and he just did not perform the best, which I think is a rather excusable race. If you really go further into his stats, he's won at Happy Valley, he's won at Charene, he's won at this distance. His race in December over Happy Valley, over the Happy Valley track, it was a really nice race. And I think we're going to see him really make a good comeback and really show that form and that competitive edge that he has, especially in these sprints. So I'm going to take my chance here as my best bet with Elon, the 3 Elon in race 8.
Yeah, for Sarah's best bet on Wednesday will be race 8, number 3, Elon. Currently, the price is $11. This horse already scored 3 wins in this season, both over Happy Valley and the all-weather track at Charene. And last Tuesday, he also showed us a good barrier trial. So keep an eye on him. And Steve, who is your best bet?
I went to race number 3 over the 1200 meters, number 2, Spontaneous, drawn 3 under Karis Teton. He won 3 races last season from just 5 runs. He was in great form, but the handicapper got too charged, and basically he was rated high. He went to class 3. And he found it quite difficult towards the end of at the beginning of this season. I think he found class 3 just a bit too difficult. But recently, I think his runs have been far more encouraging. And if you look at the form figures, there's lots of 8s and 9s there, but it doesn't show the actual good runs he's been doing. Recently, he's finished close behind Astrologer and also Smile Like You, and he's not been beaten any more than, say, 1.5 lengths. And yet, you know, the blanket finishes that you get in Hong Kong, he's been 8th, but actually very close up. So he's not been far. He was dropped to this class last time, class 4, but he had a wide trip under Karis Teton, and I think better is expected this time from a helpful barrier in 3. And it's nice that Karis Teton also keeps the ride as well. I think Wind Speeder is a danger, a nice horse. And Gracie Love, I think that might be favourite under Zach Purton. He's an interesting horse because the last time he won was over course and distance, and that was, well, it was the last time the last time he won was at Charene under Zach Purton. But it's interesting, he's got barrier 12 this time, and in 6 runs at Happy Valley, he's never been better than 7th. Now, statistics can sometimes come around and bite you because you might go and win tomorrow, but it's not a great statistic. And I think Spontaneous, he's well handicapped now. He's getting better handicapped all the time, and I think he could win tomorrow. He's my best bet.
Yes, that's fantastic to hear because my best bet will be also Spontaneous as well. Currently, the price is 6.9. He will be ridden by Karis Teton. And Joe, I think that you also like Karis Teton's marks on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, race number 9 is my best bet. Number 5, Gallant Crown's been very, very consistent. At least in this new start of the season for him. 2-4-4-2 is his last form. And he does get Karis Teton, who's won on him last season around this time, actually, and had a hat trick and then some bad performances, and then to end the season, he ended up getting a win. So I think he's knocking on the door. It was a battle between him and Soulmate because those two are the current two in the market as the favorite. And I was hoping that Gallant Crown at one point was the second favorite. Now he's become the favorite. And I think that with Soulmate number 2, he had Alfie Chan on, and then now he gets Zach Purton. And I think that's why he is the favorite, aside from having mounts with Joe Moreira on and winning. But I think I'd take the more consistent horse. That's number 5, Gallant Crown with Karis Teeton. Just looks really good in this race, and I think he could do it.
Yes, right. For Joe's best bet will be in race 9, number 5, Gallant Crowns. He is such a course and distance expert. He's quite dynamic, but I think he will stay in front on Wednesday, jumping from gate 5. Currently, yes, right. At this moment, he is the favorite with 3.8, but I believe that Soulmate will be the final favorite tomorrow. So for my best bet, just mentioned that Steve said so many good points for number 2, Spontaneous in race 3. I have been thinking this horse for several days, so I will still go for him. And because last time out, this horse was racing wide without cover, but this time gate 3, I hope he will go back to the winner circle on Wednesday. So to sum up our best bet for Sarah, that will be race 8, number 2, Elon. For Steve and myself, we also like race 3, number 2, Spontaneous. And for Joe, that will be in race 9, number 6, Gallant Crown. So let's move to our value bet. Sarah, who is your value bet on Wednesday?
Mine is the 6, Eternal Bloom in race 5. Taking my chance here with the horse that's going to be making his debut over the Hong Kong track. But what really stuck out for me, besides his pedigree, is that we got Matthew Poon staying aboard, and he's ridden this horse 3 times in his barrier trial. So he's familiar with this horse. He knows his quirks, and he's going to be able to see how he can work out anything out on the track, and see if he's going to race green or not. But I think he has a really nice shot here, at least possibly to hit the board. So I'm going to take my shot here with the 6, Eternal Bloom.
Yeah, for Sarah's value bet, race 5, the first leg of the triple trio, don't forget number 6, Eternal Bloom. I think that according to his barrier trial performance, he is now ready for racing or even ready for winning. So let's keep our eyes on him. And Steve, who is your value bet?
I just went for, did I go for Raging Blaze, actually?
Yeah, cool. Sure.
Yes. I was just trying to remember which one I actually had, because I wasn't sure for a minute there. Yes, I went for, I went for Nordic Sky. I went for Nordic Sky, which is in race number 2, actually. I thought this was a very interesting horse, Nordic Sky. And actually, I've actually made a mistake here. I've actually put down Raging Blaze, would you believe, which is a bit of a mistake. So I just need to actually look at my notes here and actually look up. This is fantastic, isn't it? And try and find this here. Where are we now?
Yeah, you have to make your final decision.
Yes, no. I do have to make my final decision. Nordic Sky was always my horse, but I was just looking at. I also did the great tip-off where I included Raging Blaze, and then I was suddenly looking. I thought Raging Blaze is very short price. Why did I choose that for the value bet?
Yeah.
But I didn't choose it for the value bet. I actually went to Nordic Sky in race number 2, and that's ridden by Derek Leung. And he's a likely racehorse for Tony Millard. It's a race where Zach Purton rides Exceptional Nice, who is just one of these horses like Smart One Choi, who just keeps on getting finished, say, seconds or thirds or fourths, but doesn't quite win. So I think Zach Purton, I think it'll be a very popular choice, Exceptional Nice tomorrow, but he just doesn't win that often. So I was kind of hoping that Nordic Sky could surprise. He was actually 4th on his penultimate run over this distance. And then last time he ran 4th at Charene, over slightly shorter, but he backed up that run. So that's heartening that he could back up another good run. So I'm hoping that Nordic Sky can provide a bit of value. He's well drawn in 3, and I think he is definitely the each way angle in race number 2. So Nordic Sky for me, Derek Leung.
Yeah, good choice, Steve, because number 7, Nordic Sky in race 2, currently the price is 6.7, and he is actually in the Derby entries, but the current rating, 66, is obviously not enough. So I think that he must try his best on Wednesday. And Joe, who is your value bet?
My value bet is in race number 4, and that is Rising from Ashes, that number 7 with Vincent Ho. Now, this is a angle that I've already explained a bunch of times on the show. He is the longest shot on the board, but he is coming off of a race against Cordyceps 6. So was his debut race, and I think he's gonna improve again. We saw it with Common Room, who hit the board second at about 100 to 1. You got like about 30 something to place. Then you had You're My Everything that came from Australia and won on debut. At $30, I think you're gonna get some kind of value. He could run a big race, and it's not as expected as the other one because he was 10 lengths behind. But before that, he has showed the fitness because he's had a second and a third in his barrier trial at Chungfa, and he won debut. He won on his debut race in Victoria. We all know how much we love the Victorian horses in Hong Kong. So taking a big price in race number 4, Rising from Ashes, number 7 with Vincent Ho.
Yeah, that's a great choice. Second start for this lightly raced horse. He is quite small, but just gained 14 pounds, which is a good sign. I think that's showing he is growing up well. Currently, the price is $31, quite a good price for this value bet or for Joe. And for my value bet will be in the opener, race 1, number 5, Sure Winner. He is quite a lightly raced 4-year-old, and to be honest, there is nothing to say in his forms, but he just had 2 impressive barrier trials before this start. He improved a lot with better gate speed and more concentration. So this time I hope that he can take advantage of the gate 1, and I hope to see this 4-year-old to improve. Currently, the price for my value bet is $11. So to sum up our value bets, for Sara, that will be race 5, number 6, Eternal Bloom. For Steve, that is race 2, number 7, Nordic Sky. And for Joe, that is race 4, number 7, Rising from the Ashes. And for me, that will be race 1, number 5, Sure Winner. So that's all for our show today. Wishing you all the best on Wednesday. See you next time. Bye bye.